In this modern age, you would think that there would be no human vice, compulsion or addiction that wouldn't be, if not accepted, it would be understood, treated and generally accommodated by society at large. That today, nothing is taboo. And yet, there is one condition. There is a condition so strange, so perverse, that very few are willing to acknowledge it, let alone speak about it. Until now. I've been invited here, after months of research and secret contact, to this remote location that I cannot reveal, to meet with some of those who have been affected by this condition. I must warn you that some of you might find the following interviews upsetting. So here I am with our first victim, Victim A. Victim A is not his real name, it has been changed for his own protection. So, Victim A, can you tell us how you became caught up in this business?
Well, I had a very normal childhood, a privileged upbringing. I grew up on the south coast of England in a good family. I even went to a private school.
Really? A private school?
Yes, a private school. And then I went on to university.
University?
Cambridge.
Wow, Cambridge University, one of the best universities in the world. And is that where it started?
I suppose it was, yes.
So, can you tell us how exactly it began? Like, how were you drawn in?
Well, I was studying engineering, and we had lectures and we had laboratories.
Laboratories?
Laboratories, and where we did experiments.
Experiments?
Yes, experiments.
And is that when you came to their attention?
Yes, we did our experiments. We did more and more extreme research, and eventually they made me an offer I just couldn't refuse.
I'm now with Victim B, who, as you can see, is female, showing that this condition doesn't just affect men. So, Victim B, you have suffered for many years. Can you tell us how you were drawn into this business?
Well, I grew up in a large family. We were very happy and we supported one another. That was the sort of kind of thing it was. And then, well, I was really happy at school and college. I had so many friends.
So, what did you plan on doing after you left college?
Well, I was really good at textiles and design. I was very good at it. These sort of like dressmaking, pattern making and home furnishings. I was really good at it.
And can you tell us what happened?
Well, I got a job in London. I thought I'd earn money so that I could finance myself into the fashion and design industry.
Well, that sounds really promising. What happened?
I saw a job advertised for this business.
An advertisement?
I applied for the job, then went for the interview.
And just never left?
No, I tried, but I couldn't. I just couldn't.
Yet another victim of this horrible addiction is Victim C. So, Victim C, can you tell us how you got involved in this terrible business?
Well, I was doing really well for myself. I'd grown up in a tough neighbourhood, but I did well at school and I passed my exams and then I became a banker.
You became a banker?
Well, I know, but back then it was respectable and I just had a good career myself. I could see myself moving on and then I got this.
That is so interesting. You could admit to being a banker, but not this terrible business, which shows how horrible this condition is. So, anyway, you were a successful banker. What happened next?
Well, I got this call. They said they could rescue me from the dark side, and I believed them.
I'm now with Victim D. Victim D, I understand that you in particular became enmeshed at a very young age.
Well, yes. I was only 16, still at school, when they came for me.
And how did they come for you?
Well, of course, it's easy to see with hindsight, but then they said they'd train me, give me qualifications, everything. It sounded great.
And what happened then?
Well, then they said I had to go to the big sheds near London, where I'd learn a trade. Of course, I got there, went inside, and that's when I saw them for the first time. And then they made me touch them.
And that was it? You just couldn't leave?
Well, that's just it. I didn't want to leave.
This is our final victim, Victim E. Victim E, I understand you were also very, very young when it started.
Well, I was still at school. I was doing quite well. I was actually hoping to go to university and everything.
I see it. And what happened to change all that?
Well, I started looking at magazines.
Magazines?
Yeah, I mean, just occasionally at first. I mean, they're not hard to find if you know where to look for them.
I see. And what happened?
Well, I started reading them more and more, and just more for I just couldn't help myself.
And what was it about these magazines that you just couldn't let go of them?
Oh, it was the picture. Well, no, not just the pictures. The articles were really interesting as well.
And what happened next?
Well, there was an advertisement in back of one of the magazines, and they were looking for people, and I applied, and I went and joined them.
Well, there you have it. 5 victims who've had the courage to talk to us about this terrible business. In this modern world, where so much is considered mainstream behaviour, you would think there are so few things that have the capacity to shock. So what is it? What is it that these victims just can't escape from, that they're so ashamed they can't tell their friends and family? It is called the aviation business. A business that seems so addictive that once you're drawn in, you just can't leave.
Creatures of my dreams.